want us to get out there.
I feel like at the same time I wasn't unorganized because I knew what I was talking about.
They know that they're just naive.
The students want to know how to have conversations. They want to know practical ways to speak to get what they need.
First thing I would like for you to do, turn towards your partner and discuss your answer right now.
This series is about academic discussion. It is about teachers trying out a set of strategies to create classrooms where rich academic discussion happens. It's about paying attention to what the other is talking about and then contributing, building on their ideas or agreeing with their ideas or disagreeing.
Take a look at the targets for today, please.
I can engage in academic discourse.
This series is about valuing oral language and valuing student communication, particularly student-to-student communication.
Jillian.
I actively listen to other speakers.
All right, I'm glad you said that.
Every single teacher needs to be thinking about, how do I help the English language learner in my core academic class gain access to the curriculum, negotiate ideas, make sense, and participate in the discussions of this classroom.
I like that everyone's sharing their ideas, but make sure, like how Michael responded to someone else, I want to hear talk moves too, okay?
The three teachers have determined also specific language development targets as well as content targets that they have for their classroom. And they're very clear with their students as to what those are. Teachers in this series are learning new practices. They're experimenting with new practices. The Common Core is new. For the district, the focus for the year was on academic discussion, reading complex texts, writing using evidence. The environment within the district was to encourage teachers to experiment, to try, to learn new practices, and to bring those into the classroom.
You guys have already been doing this a little bit so far, just in the do now, right? Using evidence and examples.
I wrote a book called Academic Conversations, in which we found the skills that people need to carry on a productive and constructive conversation. The current skills that we're working on in different classrooms are creating an idea and then clarifying the idea, and that can include paraphrasing and asking for elaboration, and then fortifying an idea, which also includes supporting an idea with evidence, and then finally negotiating an idea, which means if you have another idea, negotiating two ideas. All of those skills focus on building something that wasn't there before.
You're going to want to talk about the whole process, that's the goal, but I want you also to talk about your own individual process.
In Joanna's class, what was exciting was to see the level of engagement of the students. They were talking about some of the scores and evaluations that they had had from their senior project. And they were talking at a high level, and it had been well set up by the teacher.
Because they chose these type of issues, they just, it made them harder for themselves.
Her use of video and also transcribing, even a little bit of transcribing, can be a powerful way to both understand how students are thinking and then also to show students, some powerful thinking by students and also some next steps.
I think the third trip was important.
ELLs need that extra time and extra support to be successful. We also want the ELLs to have practice in environments where they're coached and they're supported and celebrated.
You guys are still doing an excellent job, and I love how we all have our ideas out on our paper.
Tamika gives lots of positive reinforcement, helping kids take risks. She also acknowledges how difficult it is for them and celebrates that.
It's hard to explain my response.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I want you to think about who Delphine is as a character. Right?
In Viet Le's class, she emphasized the power of the prompt. And I think that's something that needs to be thought about more. It's not just the first thing that comes to my mind that I think kids might answer. It's not just a question. It's a prompt that you think will garner different perspectives different, more complex answers, not just one-word answers. Another thing I noticed was the whole group modeling.
When they started going to the center, they started learning more.
There was a class discussion, but she was modeling some of the moves and some of the conversation skills as the whole group was talking and sharing.
It debates whether or not that Delphine and her sister should go.
If we don't start in kindergarten, they're going to get behind. And so every year we need to think about how do we articulate, how do we build their skills for conversing with one another every year in school, both for content purposes, for standards purposes, but also for their life purposes.
Why do you think I showed you random and anonymous feedback before I give you all of your individual?
Children want to learn. And when we design the learning experiences for them to learn, they're with us all the way.
I can set goals and reflect on my
Academic
discussions, participation.
1, 2, 3.
Yes!